The fuck? Let's roll.
Big old flame.
Hell yeah. This is gonna be one of my favorite recordings, just because of the cigar that we're smoking.
Yeah, this one's really good. I really enjoy this one.
Get a nice little cigar light recorded for the beginning here.
What's up, everybody? It's Nate here.
Travis.
We're sitting here smoking a couple My Father's cigars.
Don Pepin's.
Don Pepin. I'm smoking the Don Pepin Vintage Edition Toro. This was the original release, the TAA release. The regular production is fantastic too, but these just have a little something extra to them. I don't know what got lost when they did the regular production. Something did, but they're still good. Still very good smokes. But these TAA are excellent.
You love a little TNA.
Oh yeah.
Also, this is Los Jerkos, just in case we're just randomly fucking talking to you on a podcast.
That's right.
I'm smoking Don Pepin Vegas Cubanas. This is one that, I mean, I'm not even joking, y'all need to try. This is one I've talked about in the past 3 episodes, at least 2 of the 3 episodes. It's one that I bring up on a consistent basis. I just found out this was the 3rd iteration of this from the beginning of Don Pepin's career. This was one of the first blends he made. Didn't do very well. Cut it out. Started it up again with the My Father name on it. Didn't do well. Cut it out. Now he has his Don Pepin label on it. And, I mean, for what? The $8, $9? I honestly think it's worth a lot more. And I actually like it better than the blue label Don Pepin. I'm not even going to lie. It's a Corojo, so it hits all those kind of medium-bodied notes that I really like about Nicaraguan tobacco.
I still have to try that one for sure.
You really do. It's literally a mild My Father cigar. It's like that. Like I said, it's about a medium, but it's a Corojo Rosado, but Nicaraguan Puro. Just hits all the marks. It's definitely a bob.
It's a shame we can't have more information because mine is a very similar blend. It's a Nica Puro, Corojo 99 wrapper, Nicaraguan binder and filler, and beyond that, I don't know much else. I mean, I guess I could look in the Half Wheel article here, and they might tell me.
Yeah, we're a bunch of little Corojos today.
That's right. So what are we talking about today, Travis?
I mean, let's start out, chatting about My Father. You and I just both learned some interesting stuff about My Father. Just being nerds researching our cigars. Found out My Father's actually fairly young as a company.
It feels like an older brand. Just the vibe that My Father gives off. It feels like it's 80s, 90s type of brand.
Yeah, it's very classic profile. Fits in really well with Fuentes and Padrones. Has that classic kind of vibe to it. But you found out that it's actually a lot younger than we had originally thought.
Yeah, I think 2008 was the initial launch of My Father.
Yeah.
Where they were blending stuff, it sounds like since 2003.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, García family, I mean, he's 3rd generation. García family had been blending stuff in Miami small stuff, but he was getting a lot of recognition for it, and he decided to take that step a little bit further and create his own, established kind of brand with my father. He was making San Cristobal's, La Roma de Cuba.
Yep. Those are both owned by
Tatuaje.
Halt Cigars, the La Roma and the San Cristobal.
Yeah.
Owned by Halt's.
And I mean, he's the father of those, no pun intended.
Yep. Those are great smokes too. I mean, both of those brands.
Dad jokes throughout this whole thing. Speaking about my father. Yeah, I mean, he's fairly young. I mean, 2003, yeah, I guess theoretically that's quite a while. But compared to these more established companies, the Fuentes, the Padrones, the Davidoffs, he's still like, a teenager, kid, you know what I mean,
mm-hmm.
business-wise.
2003, how old were you?
Oh, fuck. Oh, I was still in high school. I
I was 16, I think, 17.
Oh, shit, I'm older than you, I just realized, yeah.
Are you older than me?
Yeah.
No.
36.
I'm older than you, baby.
Oh, fuck, you old as shit, then.
Yeah, I'm going to be 39.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be 37. I mean, okay, so you're a little bit older than me. I still would have been in high school, like, right at the beginning of high school.
Yeah, you would have been, like, 14 or something. 15.
Well, I graduated in 06.
Did you?
Yeah, so...
I didn't graduate, so this...
That a boy.
That whole time period is kind of hazy to me.
Oh, yeah. You're too busy partying, orgies, and sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Or at least the delirium made me think I was having orgies.
You can't have orgies with your hands.
Like hell you can.
If you close your eyes. Yeah, I mean, so we're talking about, companies that... We're talking about a company that seems really classic, really old, and in reality, it's a fairly young company, and we had someone bring that up to us in a topic.
Yeah. And not only that, I feel like my father has a distinct profile to a lot of their stuff. Like, you can kind of tell.
Oh yeah.
My father's tobacco when it's being utilized versus other companies like Aganorsa or AJ Fernandez.
Which is rare for, like, a lot of these boutique companies, as much as I don't want to throw shade on, like, Warped and Illusion and some of those smaller companies, don't really have an identity. Like, a company that's young usually takes a while to kind of create that identity, what they're known for, what their shtick is. You have, like, the Fuentes and the Padrones who are established. They know their route, and they're going to stick with it. My father... It's one of those companies where they kind of came in hot. They knew what their identity was. They stuck with it, and now, I mean, iconic. You know a My Father cigar. When you're smoking a My Father cigar, you know.
Absolutely. We get a lot of people that come into the lounge asking for My Father as well. It's a very common cigar for people to ask for. One of the most popular is the Flor
de las Antilles. Yeah.
Yes.
Antilles, yeah.
Yep. That one's one of the most popular.
Yeah. And Judge, I mean, that won
that
first
won.
place. Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, and there's multiple 93 plus rated cigars coming out of that factory that, are rolling hot, and everyone knows them, everyone loves them. I've never had a My Father cigar where I was just like, nah, not my jam.
Same.
I think all of them. I mean, Fonseca at first I was not really super fond of.
Fonseca's, that one to me is like dependent on the Vitola. Like the Petite Corona
Does size matter?
Yeah, size does matter.
Size does matter.
Depending on the blend.
Oh yeah.
And depending on the person too.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm still, as much as I know about cigars, I'm still getting to that point where I'm just now starting to realize there are certain cigars where the size of it, I mean, Camacho is the first one that comes to mind. I really love 60 ring gauge Camacho. I'm not a 60 ring gauge person. Don't like giant glizzies in my mouth. But Corojo 60, Ecuadorian 60, they all just work.
I feel like Bandolero does a really good job with a large ring gauge.
Oh yeah, Bandolero. I mean, even my father, their larger ring gauges are not bad. I like them that way.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's like I said, it's one of those companies where it just kind of works for them, and they kind of know where their spot is, and they're sitting pretty. They're high rated.
They're a fantastic brand, in my opinion. I mean, they do well with all types of Vitolas, too. I mean, their Lanceros are great. Their thicker ring gauges can be great. All around a good company.
I mean, think about like Tatuaje. You and I both love Tatuaje stuff. Same thing. They know what their shtick is. They know what they're there for. They know what they're representing, and they do it damn well.
Yep. And they get to use my father's tobacco.
Yeah. Other ones, La Roma de Cuba, it's good.
It's good. I've smoked one I didn't really care for. El Jefe. I don't know what blend that is for.
Oh
El
yeah,
Jefe.
I mean that's like what core. That's like their main
That's
one.
one of their main ones. Yeah.
El Jefe's the size. That's that big fucking glizzy. You don't like that because that's just not your jam size wise.
Nope.
Size does matter.
It does matter. Yeah, I mean they produce the tobacco for Tatuaje stuff, and you can tell when smoking it. Same with San Cristobal. I mean,
Oh shit, yeah, we forgot even to address that. You and I love San Cristobal.
Yeah.
It's underrated.
I think San Cristobal is very underrated. Party Parrot, don't fucking miss, baby.
Oh no. I mean, band is great. Blends are great. The whole vibe of them is on point. That another brand. They know what they do. They just fucking do it.
Yep.
And
thanks to having Don Pepin blend for them, too.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite blenders, I think Hochi Blanco, Willie Herrera, Don Pepin, like, those are some of my favorite blenders. I know that no matter what they fucking make, it's going to be a jam. I'm all for it. I think
it's hilarious. A lot of these guys in the tobacco world, the cigar community, a lot of these blenders, they end up like rock stars and shit. People love to fucking get to know who they are and everything. And
oh yeah. Only in this community though. That's the best part. Is that guy could go fucking grocery shopping and shit. No one has a fucking clue who he is.
Yeah, right.
But like the cigar dudes, they see him, they're like, oh shit. I fucking know.
Hell yeah.
Like the only person I can think of that people would be able to recognize maybe out on the street, and it's maybe only in Tampa, is fucking Fuente.
Yeah.
He has that fucking penciled in fucking mustache. Dresses the same exact clothes.
Yeah.
His bobbleheads are literally in every fucking lounge from East Coast to West Coast.
Yeah.
So he might be the only dude that people can look at and go, shit, I know that fucking guy. But it's like fucking Don Pepin, AJ Fernandez. You fucking walk right by them, not know who the fuck they are, unless you smoke cigars and you fucking know that guy.
Yep. Even though I don't like him, say Nick Perdomo, cigar smokers could spot that fucking guy at a grocery store.
Yo, I'm keeping quiet about Nick Perdomo. I ain't even gonna get on that rant.
Nah, go ahead. Spill the beans.
There is no beans. I'm just not it's just not my jam. Not my guy. He's met him. You know, could have been circumstance. He might be a fucking grand old man.
It's a mixed bag. I've heard great things about Nick Perdomo, and then I've heard some pretty shitty things. I think that guy might be an emotional animal.
Probably.
You got to catch him at the right time to have that good experience with him.
Yeah, I mean, I may have caught him at the wrong time, but like, call me crazy, but if it's your event, you probably should be in a better fucking mood, dog. It's like,
Yeah,
like
you better
don't-
figure out how to turn that
Yeah.
fucking shit on, man.
Like, I can understand if it's not at your event, you're just fucking walking around in a pissed off mood because everyone's trying to corner you and ask you dumb fucking questions. But like, this is your event, the Perdomo event. Dude's just not for it.
You're already getting into it, bro. Just
I-
go ahead.
No,
Just go ahead and
got
let us know.
Bad
Let us know
experience.
what's up.
Listen, I talked to him on the phone. Great, super polite. Maybe I don't know. Just caught him on a bad day. Super polite on the phone. Then I hung up the phone. And I was like, "What the fuck was this shit?" When I fucking met him in person, I had to fucking get on my knees and kiss his ring and shit. Now it's, talk to him on the phone and he's just sweet as can be. Nice little Latino man. But it's like, and it, like his beginnings, his whole story, his whole family story, really dope. I'm all for it. Like, I would love to, get into a point where we're sharing like the histories of these dudes. Some of these dudes have gone through some shit. Like, his whole family were guerrilla fighters pretty much. Or like his grandfather and his father, in Cuba, they're guerrilla fighters. He was raised in combat. His father didn't want him to get into cigars. Like, there's a whole cool little story behind Perdomo. So like, I get it. I get being proud of who you are, where you come from. You started this shit out of a garage in Miami.
Worked very hard.
Absolutely.
Worked very hard, and I appreciate his story for sure.
Oh yeah.
But I just do not appreciate Perdomo cigars for shit.
Yeah, be
I don't
humble,
like
dog.
'em.
Like, what's the most expensive Perdomo?
The 30th, right? The
I think that's the most
released
expensive.
recently.
And you're sitting here, walking around like you're some kind of royalty.
Man, it is cool. God, I fucking hate Perdomo. I wish I could like Perdomo, because it's so cool that the guy, his claim is that he wants to make a product that is accessible to everybody, that is still that very premium product.
And it is available to everyone. It's just the premium
it's not
part.
that. Yeah, it doesn't meet that to me. And I've smoked quite a few different Perdomos at this point.
Yeah.
And I just, man, a lot of guys that I've worked with, they use them as work cigars. You know, Perdomo does have great construction and
It's
shit
the
like that.
working
but
class cigar. It's the basic working class cigar. And that may be fine. You know what I mean? For him.
I don't even think it's the working class cigar. Because you can smoke a fucking HVC at a working class price point and it'd be a better fucking cigar.
Oh, yeah.
I think that...
But it's not as readily available.
Perdomo's story is fantastic. And just the packaging, it's showy.
Yeah.
They throw yellow cellos on their shit to pretend like they got age.
Champagne is actually not bad, though.
It's a great brand for people that don't know any better.
Yeah. I mean, like we talked about last podcast, I mean, we didn't necessarily start off on a really good cigar. Like, my first box purchase was Gurkha's. Like, that's a brand that if you don't know any better, shit could be golden. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's still a shit. So, I mean, we just got onto Perdomo from fucking Don Pepin. Like, comparing fucking...
it's two worlds apart, for sure. So,
Same country.
Don Pepin, my father, we mentioned that, like, Perdomo's the working class cigar. No, my father could be considered the working class cigar because of the quality of their product and how flavorful their product can be versus Perdomo. It's two opposite worlds. So I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of goes into one of the topics we were talking about, which is classic versus modern cigars. When do you think Perdomo started?
2012, seems like to me. No?
Not even close. 1992.
Oh, you know what? I should have known that because I actually have
vintage.
some Perdomos from fucking early-ish 2000s.
Yeah.
So I should have known that.
So we're talking about like classic versus modern. Perdomo's classic.
I bet you Perdomo in the 90s was fucking dope.
Oh, absolutely. He was probably putting. It was a little bit less corporate. He was kind of putting his kind of love into it still.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of turned into this corporate thing. I mean, what gas station that sells cigars, liquor store that sells cigars? I mean, you can find it anywhere that sells cigars.
Are they in gas stations now?
When I first got into cigars, some of the gas stations I would go to that sold cigars, Perdomo was predominantly Perdomo, Gurkha, and then like the Monte Cristos, obviously name stuff. But Perdomo was predominantly, there. Liquor stores, I almost always see Perdomo in liquor stores.
God, so Perdomo to me feels like a new-ish brand, but it's actually more classic than my father, where my father feels that.
And my father feels like a classic.
It does.
So I mean, like one of the topics we were talking about, or we wanted to talk about, was like that difference between classic, modern. I mean, even I would say there's a third classification, which would be the boutique, which is like the freshest of the fresh. I would consider a boutique brand to be someone still fairly new, small, still trying to pick up, trying new things, whatnot. And sometimes, like, we're just now kind of discovering that line kind of skewed, because there are certain brands that just do classic profiles really well and seem classic, but they're fresh.
Mm-hmm.
And some that try to do the classic profile.
Yeah.
Consistency, but maybe not hitting the mark. I mean, boutique brands, it's a whole nother thing. We've talked about this. Boutique brands have nothing to really fucking lose. So they try new shit. A lot of boutique brands are trying new funky blends.
They're getting down in the nitty gritty and in other countries and actually seeking out small farmers and stuff like that.
Yeah. They're not resting on their laurels, which, you have like a Perdomo who's kind of seated on his little throne, or his made-up throne that he has, where he thinks he has a real classic brand that transcends time. Got my father, who keeps coming out with some cool stuff, but still on that classic line of things.
Now, what about Rocky Patel? Does that feel classic or modern to you?
Oof. I'm going to tell you, Rocky Patel does feel more modern, but I would not be surprised if it's classic. Mainly because Rocky Patel, I had this discussion today at the lounge, actually. Rocky Patel's lineup, its main selling point is you're not, for the most part, at least our selling point for it is, you're not really you don't necessarily have to like all of Rocky's stuff, but you will always find one Rocky cigar that fits your vibe.
Absolutely.
And for the same reason that I kind of judge Warped and Illusion for having too much going on without having an identity, Rocky's guilty of that, but he's created an identity from that. So it's kind of a weird conundrum, because all these newer companies, the smaller ones, Warped, Illusion, they're smaller, they're trying to do what Rocky already has done, and it kind of just turning into this kind of mess. I feel like Warped and Illusion come out with a new cigar every fucking month. It's limited. It's kind of just tossed out.
I don't think Illusion does that as much as Warped.
They used to. They don't do it as much now.
No.
Because I think they found their niche.
Yeah, they got their niche for sure. I mean, Dion's a great blender. Yeah. I don't think he has to go too far beyond what he's already got. I mean, they did release a couple new cigars in 2024, but it's not like it doesn't feel like they're throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks anymore. They're more just kind of adding on top of their repertoire.
Whereas Warped, don't get me wrong, Kyle Gellis is awesome. I love that he's young, kind of entrepreneur trying to get into this field. trying to compete with some of these big dogs. I give him all the credit in the world, but the thing that I constantly hear is there's just so much. And then he keeps releasing special blend here, and then 2 months later, special blend here, and then
yeah, he's like in a mix of.
He's like trying to find it.
Yeah, he's trying to find it,
but in the process, he's pushing too much out, trying to find it.
It would be awesome to be able to actually interview him and see what his actual goals are and where he wants to be and where he sees himself and his brand.
Hell yeah. I mean, he's young. I mean, he has all the time in the world to find his niche.
I think he's younger than both me and you.
He is.
Yeah, he's like 33 or something like that, 34.
Oh, yeah. I was going to go 31, 32, so we're about that same.
Yeah.
Rocky Patel, fun fact, I just looked this up. Early 1990s, he was selling cigars. Yeah. And he officially changed the name to Rocky Patel Premium Cigars in 2003. So, dude was selling cigars. He had a brand before Rocky Patel that he changed the name to. That was... It
was with the two Indian heads on it, right?
Yeah, Indian Tobacco.
Indian Tobacco.
Yeah.
Yo, I don't know if you ever smoked one of those.
No.
They were actually pretty fucking dope, man. I remember when I first started smoking it, I was getting a fuck ton of them. And they were kind of cheap at the time. And they were likely cheap because they were leftover Rockies from when after Rocky had started his shit and doing everything. So it's just kind of like...
Kind of dwindled off, yeah.
Dwindled off, and they're trying to just get it off of the shelves and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But those Indian Tobaccos, if you can find one now, I mean, I guarantee they got a bunch of fucking age on them. Really good smokes, man. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, that goes into... That would be considered a classic blend.
Yeah.
But Rocky Patel's name, Rocky's Cigars, officially is 2003, which is still fairly
newish.
Not fresh.
Yeah. I mean, well, I guess my father and Rocky would now be considered classic. I mean, because if you look at it in, like, the perspective of music, classic music is basically music that's 20 years old or older.
Oh, yeah.
So, at this point, I mean, 2023, these brands are now classic. So, my father is now a classic. It's just, I think we're getting old, and we don't like to think that...
These brands are legal to drink.
Yeah.
So they're adults now. Mm-hmm. They're still classic.
But they're classic. I mean, like, it's crazy to think that, 20 years.
Yo, also speak for yourself, because I'm youthful, you're old as shit. We just confirmed you're older than me. I'm a youngin'.
Not by much, baby boy.
Listen, it's all in spirit. It's all in spirit, Poppy.
I mean, fuck, dude. It was hilarious because, let's see, 1990, I was 5 years old, and music from the 70s that my dad was listening to when he was a fucking teenager was considered classic. When I became a teenager, I was rocking out to 9 Inch Nails and shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
And that technically is classic now.
Yeah.
Nobody looks at it that way.
No.
But it's fucking considered
90s was one of the best time periods for music, though.
Sounds like it was really good for cigars, too. And I wish that... I wish I could have experienced 90s cigar smoking,
I mean, you started at 9, so you're only 5 years off.
That was mainly cigarettes. And then when I got to try a cigar at 13... I tried inhaling it like a fucking moron, so I missed that train. If I would have had the internet at my fingertips back then, I would have fucking knew better, and probably actually picked up the habit at 13.
Yeah, the hobby at 13.
The hobby.
Habit's bad.
Why do I keep saying
it's not a bad habit. It was maybe a habit when you were a child. Yes.
The Hobbit.
The Hobbit, in an English accent. Not to be weird though about inhaling cigars. Do you ever... This may be just fucking me. I'm going to sound like an idiot. Do you ever, every now and then, just, a little inhale when you're smoking a cigar?
No.
All right, I'm a fucking idiot.
No. You know when I do it though, actually, it's that time you got me to smoke the Avo XO with you.
Yeah.
That thing was so fucking mild
Oh yeah.
that I could inhale that bitch, and I did inhale it.
I don't know how to explain it, but like when I'm exhaling a cigar, it depends. It's not all cigars. Like I just tried it now, and I'm really trying to hold back coughing into the mic. Certain cigars, when I'm exhaling, like right towards the end, I'll inhale a little bit just to get a little bit going.
Yeah.
This is a little bit spicy. Probably not a good idea. My lungs kind of burn, but every now and then I do it. It's like an added. It's kind of like when you retrohale. It's like an added kind of detail where you can get a little more profile off of it.
Yeah.
It's
my palate might be a little weird because it kind of, if I do inhale a cigar, it kind of changes the nature of the rest of the cigar for me, where the profile isn't quite the same as it was before inhaling. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? It sounds kind of weird, but it does something to the whole profile for me, where it's just now my palate is kind of wonky after I do that.
Do you retrohale every cigar that you smoke?
Yeah.
Even ones that you already know what the flavor is?
Yeah.
There are certain cigars where, like, if I know that I don't like the retrohale, like I have had it before and I had retrohaled it before, I won't do it. But there are some people, that's why I was asking, there are some people that will, every time they smoke a cigar, they at least retrohale a few times.
Yeah.
There are some that I just don't.
Fuck, there's guys that don't retrohale at all.
Yeah. And you're missing out. That's
you are
a
missing
huge
out.
For newbies listening. I don't know how many people have listened to this, but for newbies, retrohale is blowing smoke, essentially blowing smoke out of your nose instead of your mouth, and it kind of helps get more out of the cigar profile-wise.
Mm-hmm.
The flavors kind of change. You're starting. Once you get to that level where you're retrohaling, you're getting to that level where you're now trying to find like subtle nuances. You're getting different spice notes. It's not just pepper spice or no spice at all.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting baking spice, white pepper, black pepper, clove. Like retrohale is kind of like that extra added detail. Once you get really into cigars, once you start having a palate for them, it kind of just ups the ante, kind of.
Yeah, there's a lot of receptors in your nasal cavity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's when you're smelling stuff. You're kind of tasting what's in the air.
Yeah,
like those are what you're smelling. That smells great. Those are little particles going in there, and the receptors in your nasal cavity are reacting to them much like your taste buds. So when you retrohale, you're just using more of your palate.
Yeah.
And not just limiting your palate to what's in your mouth, on your tongue. You're also using the receptors in your nasal cavity. I definitely recommend retrohaling.
Yeah.
I do it every time, too. And it's weird that you mentioned, it's not weird, but it's not something I've ever heard, actually, though. That there's cigars that you don't like the retrohale on, so you don't do it. Like, but you like the flavor of the smoke, just not the retrohale.
Yeah. So, like, for instance, the Judge.
Yeah.
I
can see that.
I purposely don't retrohale the Judge because all the nuanced flavors that I like about the Judge, I don't get when I retrohale. When I retrohale, I'm getting just like I snorted a line of black pepper.
Hell yeah.
And it's like, for me, I already know I'm going to hate that fucking retrohale, so I might as well enjoy those nuances, the coffee, the earthy notes.
Right.
I can get the pepper through
that
my
makes
taste
sense.
buds.
Maybe I should revisit the Judge and not retrohale at all. Because I love the retrohale. It's, so I don't really fuck with a cigar, I guess, if I don't really like the retrohale on it either. You know what I mean? It's kind of the full gamut for me. But I'll revisit the Judge and not retrohale at all and see how that goes.
I mean, it's the same with eating. If you don't like a certain sauce, you just leave that sauce off. You still enjoy the meal.
Yeah.
You still enjoy the food. You just don't add that extra fucking bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just taking the sauce off.
The Judge, though, last time I smoked one, I mean, it was very pepper forward. Even on the off the rip, it was pepper forward. And I didn't retrohale off the rip. You know, it was just very, very pepper forward. Now, I do want to smoke that fatter ring gauge because I used to just only prefer thinner ring gauges, but the more and more I smoke, the more and more I'm realizing, well, there's stuff that I actually really enjoy the blend of in a thicker ring gauge.
This is where size matters. In a cigar, I find with like Liga Privada is the same. A cigar that packs such a flavorful profile. Depends on your mood, obviously. Like, there are times where I just want a Toro or a Corona Liga 9, you know what I mean? And that hits heavy flavor notes, whatever. But with, like, the Judge or the T52 or the Liga 9, there are times where I want just a smooth experience. I want all those flavors, but I kind of want them stretched out a little bit, a little more thinned out, so they're not so in my face.
Yeah.
With the Judge, that thick ring gauge takes some of that pepper note and kind of moves it into a middle ground so that all those other flavors can kind of jump up with it. So you end up getting more of that coffee note. You end up getting more of that dark earth note. You still get that pepper. It's just kind of thinned out a little bit.
Yeah, it's not as in your face.
It's like chocolate milk and Yoo-Hoo. Remember Yoo-Hoo? It's like
I love
chocolate milk mixed with water.
Yoo-Hoo? I had Yoo-Hoo the other day.
Did you really? Holy shit, you're old as fuck.
Oh yeah,
it's from the 90s. He's still drinking bottles that are marked from the 90s.
Fucking A, baby.
But it's like water. It's essentially they took chocolate milk and said, how could we thin this shit out and make it a little more boring?
And boring? Hell no.
I can't do it.
Yoo-Hoo's fantastic, man. Revisit Yoo-Hoo. Don't retrohale it.
Don't retrohale Yoo-Hoo. Don't retrohale Yoo-Hoo.
Since we're on this topic, I think I'm going to go ahead and hit one of the questions we have on the list here.
I haven't even looked.
Cowboy asks, how is it that when you buy the same cigar in different sizes or vitolas, one will be just okay while the other will be awesome?
Because size matters.
Size matters.
Is his real name Cowboy? That's a great first name.
Cowboy Custis. He's the man.
His first name should be Cowboy.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, like we're talking about, the size matters because the filler ends up, I mean, what was it, 70 to 80% of the flavor profile of a cigar comes from the wrapper.
Supposedly. I think that's also dependent on the wrapper itself.
That's also fair, yeah. It depends on the wrapper, it depends on what part of the plant they're getting the wrapper from. Mm-hmm. There's lots of little scientific bullshit that we're not going to teach you science. We're all adults here.
This ain't a fucking science class,
dog. Not fucking Bill Nye bullshit.
What's wrong with you?
Sponsor us, Bill Nye. But please don't. No, don't do it. Gurkha. We really need Gurkha in here. It's the concept of the filler is more contributing to the strength of the cigar. And what'll end up happening is when you have more filler, it kind of, I hate using the word thins out because thins out makes it sound like it's a bad thing. It kind of like evens out the flavor profile of the wrapper. So what'll end up happening is you could have a 60 ring gauge and not get a fuck ton of flavor off of it. Like I said with Camacho, you smoke a Toro of the Corojo, you're getting a lot of Corojo profile on it. Probably a little bit of spice. You're getting some leather. You're getting some earth. If you add more filler to it, kind of thin out that profile, it kind of gets silkier, smoother, because it's not crazy in your face Camacho profile that they like doing.
What's the filler on those? Do you know? Because I think that's also dependent. I mean, if it's a hardier filler.
Well, yeah, it's a Honduran, but they try to work with more intense profiles, more strength. Like, that's why Davidoff picked them up, is it allows them to have bolder, stronger cigars without fucking up their kind of profile.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, like, if I have a Corona of Liga 9, I'm getting a pop of flavor. A lot of it depends on how you're feeling. I know, like, you like thinner ring gauges. You're getting a ton of flavor, huge pop of flavor.
But that's not always the case. Sometimes a thinner ring gauge doesn't necessarily mean more flavor. I mean, like example, when we were doing the blind tasting, and you were picking the cigar this time for me to smoke, and I love Undercrown.
Oh God, this is Undercrown.
You picked out
the Dogma.
The Dogma, not the older Dogma, but the newer one that it's a thinner box press. It's like a Lonsdale, I think.
Yeah.
Like a Torpedo Lonsdale. It's a specific Vitola made for Cigar Dojo.
Yeah.
And you gave that one to me blind.
You still fucking hated it.
And I hated it.
You hated it when it had a band. You hate it when it doesn't have a band.
Yeah. But smoking it blind, and you told me it was Undercrown, I was pretty shocked. And it has to do with the ingredients. Because I love the Undercrown Toro. I love the Undercrown Corona Viva. I like a lot of the different Vitolas, ring gauges. But some reason that box press is missing something ingredient-wise that just... I did not like that fucking cigar.
I mean, it could also be airflow. Box press is supposed to increase airflow.
Yeah.
It could just be how that airflow works on the flavor. It's the same with like aerating wines, aerating whiskey, like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, the reason I assume that it is something in the ingredient that was missing or something is because they pulled, in order to get that box press,
they pulled something.
They pulled something.
Yeah.
Because you can't, otherwise the cigar will explode if they have the same amount of tobacco they would use for a Pareo.
I mean, you and I talked about how with that Undercrown, there's Brazilian tobacco in the filler. Mm-hmm. And you and I talked about that when we were blind tasting it, is if they did pull tobacco out, they'd probably be pulling the Nicaraguan out. So you end up with more of almost a 50-50 blend of Brazilian and Nicaraguan instead of 3/4 Nicaraguan and then 1/4 Brazilian. So if they're pulling out of anything, they still want to keep the blend true to what they've been saying the blend is. So they're pulling out Nicaraguan tobacco from the filler, and you end up with a more Brazilian-esque profile.
Right.
So that, I mean, could be that. I don't know. You hated that fucking cigar.
No. I wouldn't mind revisiting it now that it's been sitting on our shelf forever and nobody's buying them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind trying it again. Maybe age has helped it. I kind of doubt it.
Probably not. I mean, I've visited it since we did that blind taste test, and I still was whatever.
There was one customer we had coming in that was buying them regularly.
Oh, shit, yeah. He was buying boxes because he liked them so much.
Yeah. And nobody else was buying them. So that also goes to show that it is dependent on your palate, too, what you like. And you're not, you're not wrong on what you like. What you like is what you like.
It's all subjective.
It's all subjective.
Yeah. Just because I don't fucking like anything you think doesn't mean that you're not wrong, right?
Yeah.
I don't agree with anything.
So we do keep saying size does matter, but it
depends on the person.
Depends on the person.
I mean, like, for the longest time, I didn't think it did. I smoked anything, any size. Mm-hmm. I'm like, cool, it's the same flavor profiles, they're just either stronger or not as strong.
I think the Julius Caesar, I think those are better in a thicker ring gauge.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit. I love the Toro. That's my jam.
Well, that's a thicker ring gauge. So compare that to the Corona.
Yeah, don't they have a thicker one, though?
They do. I think, yeah they have I haven't had anything thicker than that Toro other than the Pyramid.
I was just going to say I didn't like the Robusto or the, what is it? I keep calling it the Shark.
Yeah, it's like
that's the Pyramid.
Too.
Yeah,
yeah, it's box press Pyramid.
I didn't like that one. I think it just didn't hit the same as the regular.
I think I don't like the Pyramid box press as much either, and I think it's because again it's box pressed and it's got to be missing something. But the Toro
slaps.
It slaps. The Toro slaps.
And this is a hot take. I don't like box presses or torpedoes. I'll smoke them, but like my preference is just straightforward. I mean, every now and then, Bellicoso's fine.
I like a box press if it's so. I don't like a box press if it's it seems to be anyway. If it's an existing blend that you've decided to box press. If it's a box press coming out the gate, it's blended to be a box press. There's more chances I'll like it because it was more attention went into the blend knowing it was going to be a box press. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think the only reason I don't like them is they don't burn right for, like, it might be my speed of smoking, but every time I have a box press or every time I have a torpedo, it's either too tight, doesn't burn well, canoes. I always have a fucking issue.
I have the canoeing issue on a lot of Solomons.
Yeah. Then that's another one, is a fucking Solomon. Cool shade.
Yeah.
But it's just like, come on.
Or Perfecto. Perfecto sometimes can do that.
Yeah, so I mean, size matters to you. Like, it depends on what your preferences is. Everything here is subjective.
It's either to you or it's going to be per the cigar.
Yeah.
Because again, there's some cigars where a thinner Vitola really pops, and then there's some cigars where a thicker Vitola really pops.
Yeah.
The diesel vintage, you smoked the diesel vintage.
Mm-hmm.
Which one did you smoke?
I think the Toro.
The Toro?
Yeah.
The Rabbito is a thinner ring gauge.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like a 44.
Yeah.
Something like that. And I thought I would like them a lot better. But when the rep come to the lounge and gave me the little short Gordo Robusto fucker, that was like 4x60. And that one actually is better than the thinner ring gauge. So those, like, you get that little thick diesel vintage.
Yeah.
Get that, smoke that. That thing is phenomenal in comparison to the thinner ring gauge. I bet you the 60 will even beat the Toro that you liked.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I can see
Such
that.
a hearty blend too, though.
Yeah.
That thicker ring gauge. I don't want to say it evens out because this still has a lot of flavor going on. It's just. It's not one flavor more concentrated like with the thinner ring gauge.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, a lot of it's subjective. I mean, literally, I probably shouldn't say his name, but we had like a pretty big deal coming to the lounge today. And I'm like, can we say his name? Probably not. Fuck that.
Yeah, say his name. Fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah, sure. Why not? He's probably not he's not gonna listen to this.
And if he does,
if he does, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, he's what, 78, 79 now. Hank Williams Jr. came in to the lounge today, and I was like half expecting him to, like, you're talking to like country music royalty, like the dude's kind of a big fucking deal. I was kind of half expecting some like big grandiose purchase. Dude's grabbing like champagne Perdomos and shit. Like he got some Davidoffs too, but like I wouldn't expect him to kind of go grab like $10, $11 cigars. You know what I mean? But like for him, that's his jam. That's just how he vibes.
Yeah.
And so like not a huge fan of Perdomo cigars, but I'm not going to sit here and judge him. That's his.
I'm judging that guy.
Nah.
Nah, there's a lot of cool people that enjoy Perdomos. And I think dude may be going golfing smoking those Perdomos.
Oh, yeah. Or hunting. He hunts.
Yeah. I mean, Perdomo, again, man, it's not a cigar you sit and you contemplate. It's a cigar that you can be active while smoking. Because it's got great construction and everything. I'm not like, Perdomo has its fucking place.
I set one down to help a customer.
It has its place, it's just not, its place isn't every fucking shelf in the fucking humidor.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've set one down and it took, I helped someone for 15 minutes. Came back out and that thing was still chugging. Like, I didn't have to relight it. It didn't go out.
Perfect work cigar.
Hell yeah. So, but it was just funny. Like, we're talking about subjective. You got people that are making enough money to buy their own fucking cigar factory, and dude still stays humble. One of the richest
guys at the lounge, he prefers that $10, $11 cigar range.
Oh yeah,
and he's got And he's got buku bucks.
Yeah, smoke what you like. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'll judge you for it, but smoke what you like.
Nah, I'm not gonna judge if you smoke the Perdomo or even Gurkha.
Yo, I judge everyone. Fuck that.
I'm confused why, like, if you enjoy Gurkha, I got a buddy that likes Gurkha. He's got to be the one guy, like, you remember the last episode we talked about where you get a shit cigar in a box, when you were like, well, maybe there's one guy that's getting all 10 shitty cigars in a box and only two good ones. That whoever likes Gurkha is probably the lucky motherfucker that's getting every good Gurkha ever possibly made. Like, they're just so lucky. Any good Gurkha there is to have, they're the ones getting it.
Well, fuck, share the wealth, because I'd love to experience a good Gurkha.
Yeah.
Gurkha, please sponsor us.
Please sponsor us.
Please, send us a good one. Send us a good cigar.
Yeah.
It's just a really nice, no stems, just really well blended, well constructed, no burn issues. Just send us a really fucking dope cigar. You don't even gotta sponsor us. Send us one of your fancy pantsy ones.
Yeah.
What are those $100 and something dollars?
No, the one that you fucking hand deliver with a helicopter. Bring me that shit.
Hell yeah. Deliver it in a fucking briefcase from a helicopter. I also want you in full Gurkha garb. I want, like, the fucking... What is it? Not a turban. That's racist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, not
the whole
turban. Whatever.
The whole fucking outfit. I want you to have that, like, kukri knife. I want you to cut my fucking cigar with that.
Yeah.
I want you to light it for me. Just give me the whole experience. You know what? I'll stop shit talking. If you deliver that experience, I will deliver a better rating.
Or maybe. You could just sponsor us.
Or sponsor. I mean, yeah, that's an easier route, I think.
Like, we'll continue to make fun of you, but sponsor us while we're making fun of you, and it'll be like a little apology sponsor.
Yeah, like a good sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all in good fun.
I'm sorry we suck. Here, we're going to sponsor these guys talking shit, and we're going to apologize that we suck, and put out better stuff.
We're going to change your mind by sucking less.
Yeah. If you sponsor us, the opportunity is there.
Which is only really a good life lesson on cigars. I wouldn't take that motto anywhere else. Suck less.
Suck less.
Sometimes sucking gets you a bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, we shit on Gurkha a lot. Fuck.
It's easy to do. We're going to have to stop shitting on Gurkha and maybe find another punching bag.
Nah, fuck that. I can't think of another punching bag. That's the issue.
The only other punching
Perdomo.
bag I could think of, is Perdomo. But even Perdomo has its good points.
Yeah, and maybe he's a nice guy and not rude ever. Yeah, I mean, I just saw this question. I really want to touch on it because I just sold, or I didn't sell it, but someone just sold one 2 days ago.
Hit it.
Fucking Gore-Tex, this name, man. This is the second time he's come up.
Yeah, and so Gore-Tex, if you want to check out his music, it's not Gore-Tex on Spotify, it's Mechana. And I highly recommend checking out his music. That's Mechina on Spotify. Check it out.
That's so many cool names. Is that his whole name, Gore-Tex Mechana? What a great name. It's like Elon Musk was your dad. He asked, what are your thoughts on gimmick cigars like the Drew Estate Easter egg? We literally sold an egg 2 or 3 days ago to, I think the wife bought it, but it was like a husband and wife. He really wanted it, so she bought him one. And the entire time that I'm watching this be rung up, I'm just shaking my head, just disbelief. Yeah. I just don't understand it.
I had the pleasure of smoking one.
I refuse to have the pleasure of smoking one.
It wasn't really a pleasure.
Smoking a butt plug.
I guess I had the pleasure of being gifted one by a good friend of mine. They hooked me up.
Was he a good friend, though?
He's a good friend, yeah. Because the egg ain't cheap. I think like they're, what are they, $25 a piece?
Yeah, that makes it worse.
No, that makes it way worse. But like to be able to try something gimmicky is fun. You know, like I smoked.
It's a good laugh.
It's a good laugh. Have you smoked one? You haven't smoked
No,
one?
fuck no.
Dude, the worst burn in the fucking world. I mean,
no,
that thing.
No shit.
But, you know, and it's funny, I should have known this from my fucking joint smoking days. You know, homeboys would roll up a fucking tulip.
Yeah.
You know, it's fucking giant bulbous
You gotta
fucking...
even that shit out, yeah.
Yeah, there's no smoking that fucking evenly.
What's another gimmick cigar? Woody?
The Woody, so I
Fuck.
smoked that too.
It's dog shit.
My wife bought that for me for Christmas one year. You know, it was fucking hilarious because it was a bit too humid.
Yeah.
So it didn't smoke that well. How the
Sloppy
fuck would I
gl-
even dry box that goddamn thing?
Sloppy glizzy. You don't
Yes.
dry box it, you just leave it out.
Just leave it out.
Leave it on the fucking coffee table.
Here in humid ass Tennessee, though, that don't help.
That, I mean, put it in the freezer again.
Gotta wait,
Fucking-
wait for a fucking dry spell to come along, and then I can
Oh,
smoke
yeah.
this fucking.
I've seen 2 people now in the lounge smoke this thing. Not even close to all the way, not even fucking close to
Wait,
halfway.
the Woody?
The Woody, twice.
Did we have it?
No. They brought it in. So one of them is a regular Craig. I'm not going to say his last name.
Craig?
I made the mistake last time. One of the last times we
He
recorded.
did it?
Craig brought one in. Just thought it would be funny.
Oh,
Dude,
fuck.
dude smoked maybe 2 inches off it and said, "Nah, fuck this," and went into the humidor and grabbed a different cigar. So I'm sitting here trying to figure out what to do with this like fucking police baton of tobacco sitting on the table.
It's funny. The box for the Woody. Our windows are fucked up. They don't fucking stay open. Some of them. That box got used as a fucking window prop.
That's perfect.
The cigar itself could have been used as a fucking window prop.
Absolutely. I watched fucking the first time I ever seen it in person was I had, what was it, 5 or 6 younger kid. I had to ID all of them, baby face, little prepubescent motherfuckers, like just 21. And they brought one in. They said, "Can we smoke this?" And usually we have like an outside cigar cut fee. Unless like you're a regular, we kind of let it slide, whatever. Because it was so humorous that I wanted to see 6 fucking barely legal... This is going to sound terrible, I just realized.
Uh-oh.
It's fucking
We got way too loud. The whole thing was like, feedback.
feedback issues. This is going to sound terrible, but I really just wanted to see all of these fucking barely legal dudes sitting in like a fucking powwow formation in the lounge, chiefing and passing it around. I was like, you know what? I'm going to let this one slide for just this time. And I sat there and I'm smoking a cigar and watching these idiots fucking take a puff, like laugh like they're stoned, and then pass it over to the next one. And they passed this around multiple times, didn't even get halfway, and couldn't handle it. They just stopped. And they're like, "Oh man, we can't keep doing this. We can't." They just weren't feeling it. Weren't feeling good, and they all left. And I went over to the table and I pick up another like police baton. It's 2 feet long.
Yeah. It's an insane fucking cigar.
Oh, it's so bad. That's another gimmick I just don't get.
Before they released the Woody, they had the Big Johnny, which is like a normal size cigar for fucking, oh, what's the one brand?
Asylum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Big Johnny came out, but Asylum was already releasing monster retard sticks. Yeah.
Here's a hot take. 70 ring gauge. It's a gimmick.
I agree.
I don't think there's a place.
100% agree.
I think 60 should be the limit.
60's the limit.
I think 70, you're getting to the point where it's kind of just you trying to be obnoxious. It's a gimmick. I know it's a regular size. Not a regular size. That's fucking subjective. I know it's a size that certain companies like Asylum, Lunatics, and whatnot kind of get off on. I still think it's a gimmick. I don't think there's not a reason to do that.
Yeah.
There's no quality in it.
No. When I had Instagram,
The good old days.
The good old
when
days.
It first
I'm
started.
gonna get Instagram again for our shit. But when I had Instagram and I was, using it to just try to find a lot of info about cigars and stuff, as you dig in, you realize that there's a fucking a gay community of cigar smokers. And they're all posting those fucking 70 ring gauge fucking cigars, man. Wearing their fucking leather chaps and shit.
Oh, I'm sitting here looking at your Discord. You have the Corojos, but I see like 2 or 3 of those gay cigar communities on your Discord. Man. I don't know.
Well, let's not talk about that.
Sorry, I'm just observant.
It's fucking hilarious.
He has fucking tabs hidden. These gay
man.
Cigar lovers.
Well, I deleted Instagram because of it. I was
Grindr.
Offended. And Grindr. I went on Grindr to figure out how to get off of Grindr.
I went on Grindr and I couldn't find anyone smoking cigars, and I said, well, this is fucking gay. And
this is gay.
Fuck's sake. Yeah, I think it's a gimmick. To answer the question...
It is a gimmick, but that's what I was saying about, like, that whole community. It's, like, such a gimmick that a bunch of gay dudes decided to use them as a gimmick.
As a euphemism, yeah.
Like
when your dicks are... Or not dicks. When your cigars are being compared to dicks, like, now you're looking at a scenario where you're like, we're not being taken seriously at this point. I mean, my thoughts on it, I guess there's a fucking... I don't know. There's a place for it, I guess, because people keep fucking buying the damn things. I just don't... I think they're stupid. I think it's a waste of tobacco. Like, you and I are tobacco purists. Like, we appreciate it. You know what I mean? Use that shit for something quality.
Yeah, I don't know how you enjoy that type of smoke anyway. I mean, it's just... There's no way that they're going to utilize good flavor. I mean, could you imagine, like, the Davidoff released that Diademis, but that Diademis was like a fucking 10-inch by 80-inch fucking...
Oh, yeah. That'd be dog shit, yeah. We aged all of this in wine barrels. We aged all this in wine barrels. It's basically a soaked rag of wine. No, fuck, it's just no place for it. And then
I agree, and I don't think that's a hot take, honestly. I think that's legit. That's not...
Fucking Gore-Tex is going to listen to this, smoking an egg, and go, God damn it.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch, and he puts his egg out.
It's that time of year for the egg, too, ain't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we don't carry gimmick cigars really at all. I mean, we have the back-to-back 70, which, Jesus, that's just a joke. But that egg was more a promotion. It was, Jersey State throws them in if we order enough. They just kind of go, oh, hey, cool, we thought you might like these dog shit cigars. So we had them. So it was just like, okay, let's put them on the shelf and sell them.
Yeah.
But from what I've gathered, we have never sold them before. That was the first time we've ever put them on the shelf. Usually, the owner just gives them away. He's like, there's no place for them. Yeah, they're dumb. So that's our thoughts on them.
They got sold.
One of them got sold.
Man, you mentioned the back-to-back. 70, you said? I thought those were only 60.
No, there's 2 sizes. There's a 60 and a 70.
And a 70?
Yeah.
So, man, I don't like being rude like this, but sometimes I'm just gonna anyway. I don't give a fuck. But
we're literally called Los Jerkos, and he goes, I don't like being rude.
I don't like being rude. I don't like judging people on what they like.
I don't like being El Jerko.
Because I like stuff that other people don't like, for sure. So I don't like to shit talk and whatever. But
unless it's Gurkha.
You got this 70 ring gauge, we're talking, it's unnecessary. Somebody fucking comes in the lounge, they're buying a box of the fucking back-to-back 70, and they say to me, yeah, I like these, you're getting your bang for your buck. No, you're fucking not.
You're not.
You're not. It's shit. It don't taste good.
Just buy cigarettes.
Yeah, just smoke some cigarettes.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're...
And those giant cigars, like, you ever watched Idiocracy?
Mm-hmm.
So you know the billboard where the dude's cigarette is, like, as big as a fucking cigar?
Yeah.
That's what that is. It's like this fucking, if you don't smoke back to back, fuck you. You know, it's just ignorant,
Oh yeah.
idiotic, fucking stupid shit.
That's what this is a huge pet peeve. Just going kind of off topic, like at the lounge, the people that are like come in and they're asking, "Oh, do you have a good $6 cigar, a good $5 cigar?" Our lounge is not a low end. Usually, we don't carry. I mean, I think our cheapest cigar is $7.99.
Yep.
And you show them that $7.99 cigar, and it's a Corona.
Yep.
Oh, well, that doesn't seem like I'm getting my money's worth. Well, shit. Like, if you're paying $3, $4, $5 for a 60 ring gauge cigar, you're not getting quality. Why do you even bother? You're just smoking for smoking's sake.
Yeah.
Find a new addiction. Do meth, crack. Like,
Yeah.
get your money's worth that way.
Yeah.
But it's like, with the back-to-back, it's what, $10, $11? And it's like, are you getting your money's worth?
God, I'm going to sound really pretentious when I say this too, but anytime somebody does come in and they're like, you got something that's like $5, $6, I do like cheaper smokes, but I feel like every motherfucker that comes in and asks that, and then when I point them to that $7.99 and they give me this fucking look of like, that's not what I'm expecting. It's like, you got a shit palate. I fucking can tell already.
Yeah, you're just smoking a smoke.
You're just smoking a smoke.
Get a pack of cigarettes.
I hate being that judgmental about it, but God, man, it's
No,
so
we're Los
fucking
Jerkos.
stupid.
We got to be judgmental. Fuck that shit. Gurkha, please sponsor.
Straight up though, if you're new and you're looking for something cheap, just stay online, man. Don't go. It's kind of insulting to a fucking business owner that owns a fucking actual brick and mortar, and they gotta pay the fucking light bills and everything like that, and you come in and ask for the cheapest shit.
Nickel and dime them.
Yeah. Don't fucking do that. I know you might be strapped for cash, but it's incredibly rude to ask somebody who's paying employees and all types of shit like that to find you a cheap fucking cigar. You find your fucking cheap cigar. Bro.
Also, don't come into the lounge and bring your own cigar and not contribute in any sort of way to the business.
Yeah.
That's fucking huge. That blows my mind.
Yeah, that's rude as fuck too.
That's on another level. Yeah, but fuck gimmick cigars. I would even put infused cigars under
Gimmick.
a gimmick.
I do too. You know what I was gonna mention that I originally thought was a gimmick, but I've smoked some good ones that have changed my mind on that. Culebras.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't had one.
You haven't had a Culebra?
No,
It
seems wonky.
it's definitely wonky, but it's still like it's basically a fucking Lancero just twisted up.
Yeah,
The concept is gimmicky, but like there's some good Culebras, really good Culebras. So
Yeah.
I don't feel I don't feel it's as gimmicky as I originally thought it was, or novelty.
yeah. I mean, I would argue that infused cigars are more gimmicky than Culebras. Culebras is an actual method of storing cigars, a historical method. Sweet capped and infused are different. Sweet capped is a traditional way of doing something.
Yeah.
That's not a gimmick. Infused, to me,
Is a gimmick.
I feel like is a gimmick. Is it an effective one that sells? Unfortunately, yes.
It sells to a lot of newbies too.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first started smoking, I was going after like the liquor infused cigars. There's a tequila infused cigar. What's the fucking booze with the wax cap? Maker's Mark.
Maker's Mark, yeah.
Yeah.
And as much as I'm always going to make fun of them, I'm not, as much as I am not a fan of infused stuff, there is certain stuff that I like that's infused. Upsetters by Foundation, I think, is kind of a dope infused cigar.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I knock infused cigars, it does do what you and I want to do, which is promote cigar smoking.
Yeah.
So if it gets a newbie in the door to this new world of cigars and tobacco in that sense, if that's the door they're taking, and I lead them away from them into regular non-infused cigars, it's a good outlet. I can't knock it. I'll judge it, and I will.
How long, when you first started smoking, how long were you smoking infused to non-infused? Because honestly, when I first started smoking, the most infused I would do was a fucking, I mean, this is way back, but the fucking Black and Mild wine wood tips.
Oh yeah, I never even went that. I only smoked. My first cigar was the only. I didn't stick into it. Like the Macanudo M bourbon was my first cigar, technically. I also had a cigar beforehand. I don't know what the brand was. It was like a rum infused one. But I would say like 2 cigars, and then
you went in.
What happens is I'm brain wise, I'm usually a curious person. So what ends up happening is, cool, I tried an infused cigar. What does not infused taste like? And so I went from that Macanudo bourbon and said, well, fuck, let's try a regular Macanudo. You know what I mean? So it depends on the person. A lot of people kind of like comfortable, so they'll stay in that infused for a bit.
That's who I want to talk to. I want to figure out who are the people that when they first start smoking and they're smoking the infused and they carry on smoking infused, like they love the infused. What the fuck is the trigger point for you to actually try a non-infused? I'd love to know that, because I didn't like infused.
Yeah.
I didn't like infused. I tried it. I quickly went to regular tobacco, but it was also the thing that led me into cigars was enjoying cigarettes.
Yeah.
So, loving cigarette tobacco, learning about the different types of cigarette tobacco, and then realizing, I mean, my dad chewed tobacco, and then I chewed, what he chewed was Kodiak Wintergreen, which is god awful. I liked the Red Man or Beech Nut. That was good. Those tobacco flavor profiles led me into other forms of tobacco.
Yeah.
Leading me to eventually smoking cigars. With way infused is that botanical infusion. To me, it doesn't really translate to tobacco well. You still have, like acid, you still have that underlying tobacco flavor, but it's not the best tobacco flavor.
No.
Especially because it's infused, so it kind of taints the tobacco. I'd imagine even if you use the best tobacco, infusing it will do some damage to that tobacco's flavor profile.
Have you had the upsetters?
I have had an upsetters, yes.
So like with the upsetters, the thing I like, I will smoke an infused cigar if I can taste the blend alongside the infusion.
Yeah.
With the upsetters, I can taste the Jamaican cow tongue tobacco. I can taste the blend, and then the infusion is added on to that.
Right.
Whereas like with acid, it's like they're trying to use the flavor to cover up the shit tobacco. So there's certain infused cigars that I don't mind smoking because I can taste the cigar and the infusion.
Yeah. But like Deadwood, some of Deadwood, you can taste the tobacco in that. But that's not infused, that's flavored, right?
Yeah, they say that it's not infused. It's aromatic pipe tobacco. Aromatic pipe tobacco is infused, essentially infused. It's just a different word for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Realistically, it's almost the same. But the Deadwood stuff, you can taste the blend on top of the infusion. And I'm the wrong person to ask because I went curiosity first, tried infused, and then jumped into regular stuff. I did it with scotch too. You start out, like when I started drinking scotch, I started out really, really light and then said, well, fuck, what is full taste like? What's peaty taste like? And I went from, a light scotch to those peaty, dark, smoky, heavy scotches. And it's just my curiosity. Not everyone has that. A lot of people like that comfortable zone. They kind of stick with their niche.
Yeah.
So I might be the wrong person to ask. Maybe someone that likes infused cigars can pitch in, but
And I don't know anybody that likes infused cigars like that.
No.
Actually, I do see some guys on Discord, on not my regular Discord, but another Discord that they'll regularly smoke it. I may try to reach out to them and talk to them and see what it is, where they made the jump.
Oh yeah. We got a couple more questions. What do you wanna hit?
Jump into some other questions here.
You wanna hit some more questions?
Yeah, I'm with it. I still got about an inch, two inches left.
Oh yeah, same. You wanna hit Jeremy's questions because both of them are really fucking good.
Should we save that for the next episode? Because it's
yeah, they're pretty hot topics.
I feel like we could talk a good while on what his are.
Sorry, Jeremy, we're going to leave you hanging for a bit here. Next one, we're going to cover them because they're actually really good questions. I really like those. The Pyrofox asks, what's your go-to cigar with a cup of coffee? Fuck. All of them. Coffee's... I've mentioned this, I think, on the first podcast, first episode. Coffee and coconut water are my two favorite things to pair with a cigar. But for me, ugh. What's your go?
My go-to for coffee?
Yeah.
I'm not a huge coffee drinker, especially now. I don't drink caffeine anymore.
Lame.
I could have decaf coffee, but
He likes Coke. Coke really hits it for him.
yeah, cocaine. No lie. Well, something that coffee did for me, there was no one cigar that was my go-to with coffee.
Yeah.
To me, coffee, much like salt, brings out flavor.
Yeah.
So if I was smoking a cigar that's not as flavorful, a nice cup of coffee would go well with that cigar for me, because it seems to draw out some of those notes that are a little more nuanced than a cigar. That, taking a sip of coffee and then puffing that cigar, those notes seem to, widen along with that coffee on the palate.
When you drank coffee, you did black, creamer?
Black coffee seems to pull out the flavor
I can't
of
fucking
some
do
more
that.
nuance.
I can't do it.
No?
At most, I need cream.
Yeah.
I'm a cream guy. I love a good
I
cream.
used to be like that until I actually did start drinking coffee with a cigar.
Yeah.
Because when I was just drinking coffee and I wasn't smoking, I needed creamer and shit and some sugar.
Creamer and sugar.
I liked some fucking coffee with my sugar, for sure.
Oh yeah, and recently, because I used to put so much sugar in my coffee, I don't very often put sugar in anymore. Just that little bit of creamer in it, just to lighten it up, the acidity and all the shit in the coffee, kind of give it a sweet cream kind of flavor. Something
that I've heard from a lot of people though. If you're actively looking for something to have with coffee, one cigar that I've heard from so many fucking people that pairs so goddamn well with coffee is the La Instructora Delicado.
Oh yeah.
That seems to be the number one cigar I've heard from people to pair with coffee.
It also depends on the type of person. I know people that don't want a light cigar in the morning. They want a heavier cigar.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite morning cigars for a long time was the Le Bijou by my father. Le Bijou has a nice coffee note, and it's dark. It's got a little spice to it. Really rich profile.
Have you had it with coffee?
Oh yeah. That was my go-to morning. That was my breakfast for a while, where it was like a Le Bijou coffee cream, and it goes really well together. Nowadays, I don't really have a specific cigar that I would choose with coffee. I like Habanos, like a Herrera Esteli Habano with the coffee's good. Plasencia Campo.
You know what would probably slap with coffee? That fucking Angel Cuesta.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I should try that one day, actually.
The Julius Caesar's really good with coffee. A little bit darker, but goes
Yeah.
good with coffee. Padrones, I find, go good with coffee. I need a sweeter coffee for a Padron because they do tend to have like a little bit of a salty note to them.
Yeah.
But like you get that sweet and salty kind of aspect. Monte Cristo Signature was really good with coffee. Plasencia Campo, really good with coffee. I like that middle of the road with coffee. Medium body Nicaraguan coffee, awesome.
You get into coffee blends too. I mean, you
Oh yeah.
like something I never actually tried was trying blends of coffee with a blend of cigar.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like Sumatran coffee with a Sumatran wrapped cigar. I've never done that. Would that be too acidic?
Possibly. It
Be
depends
just
on.
overpowering?
I mean, it just depends. Yeah. I mean, one of my favorite, like cheap coffee out of a percolator, Cafe Bustelo, Cuban Cafe Bustelo. That with an Atabey, awesome.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Atabey is one I would say I would love with coffee.
Oh yeah.
Atabey fucking slaps, man. I love
Or
that cigar.
Byron.
But
Byron is
never
good.
had a Byron with coffee.
Byron's good with coffee. Bandolero's good with coffee. I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. And if you do enjoy coffee, I think it would be a great idea to toy around with coffee blends versus certain cigar blends and trying those out. And maybe write a fucking book about it, bitch.
Yeah. Hop
Write a
on the
book about
podcast and tell us.
Tell
Why are you
us
fucking
what it
asking
is.
us? You should be telling us. Not only that, go talk to Gore-Tex, get some gimmicky cigars. You know what? Skip the cup of coffee, just smoke a tobacco. That's a cup of coffee and a cigar.
Actually, one of my homeboys loves the tobacco. And I can't...
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's one that I can't... I don't really consider that one too gimmicky because of...
It's infused, that's
it's-
what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it is like coffee. It's not like the botanical fucking fruity perfume smelling shit, you know?
Yeah,
It's
but that's the
coffee.
upsetters. The upsetter smells like a head shop.
I know, I can't get that.
It smells like a head shop or an Indian restaurant or something. It's like smoking a cigar when someone's lit a bunch of incense in a room.
This reminds me, actually. I feel like CBD infused cigars are gimmicky.
I've never.
You never heard of that?
No, fuck no.
There's a company, Jackson Crawl or whatever the fuck they're called.
Holy fuck.
They've got CBD infused cigars, and that's just. I can't imagine they taste good.
Have you seen? Okay, so I have seen something close. The what are they called? Canagars.
Yeah,
I had a dude come into the lounge and ask if he could smoke his
He had one, like a legit one, with the
Yeah.
dried fucking
with
pot
the dried
leaves
pot
and
leaves
everything.
around it, and he goes,
What?
"Can I smoke this in here?" I was like,
It's like $100
"The
fucking
fuck kind of
cigar."
question is that?" Like, no.
This ain't-
Just fucking light up a joint in here. Why not?
Yeah. This
Yeah.
ain't Colorado, motherfucker.
Fucking, we're still giving people rights here. Like, what the fuck? The fucking dirty South down here, and this dude wants to light up in here.
Some weed, yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, supposedly I think from what he said, like that was either his company or he was part of said company, and he was like, "Oh, can I smoke this in here?" It's basically a cigar.
I haven't had one of those. I haven't smoked pot in a while either, but I would definitely like to try one of those just to see.
I'm good.
I would try one of them just to see, because that is very interesting that they dried out the leaves
Yeah.
and use them as a wrapper. Something that, I mean, never thought about doing that.
Not to be a fucking square, but like a little joint puts me on my ass. If I
Yeah.
even tried that, I'm gonna turn into something. I'm good.
I'll try it. I'll try it.
We'll do- you know what
somebody
we'll do?
wants to send me one. Send
Yeah.
it to me, baby.
Send it in, and Nate can hotbox me
Yeah.
because there ain't no way I'm fucking puffing off of it.
I would try it. I would not try the fucking CBD infused shit, though.
No, I mean,
That's stupid. Or even like if you tried to infuse a cigar, a legit cigar with THC. I'm not trying that. Just don't even bother with that, you know. there's no way it's going to taste good, especially because pot is very overpowering flavor.
You're so pretentious.
Um,
Fucking elitist over here. Don't mix my shit, dog.
don't do that.
Don't fucking mix my shit. Holy fuck. How long have we been recording?
I don't know. This only tells me the time in bars. We're about 255 bars.
Hell yeah.
Bars, son.
Bars.
Bars on bars on bars.
Yeah, we're using Nate's recording equipment from his rap days, so...
No, I didn't use this program. No, I got a better program than this one.
Well, I'm glad you saved all the prime stuff for your secret rap career.
The thing was, if we had... So we're using USB microphones right now. If we had XLR connections, which we don't, we would be using a better program. I'm just going to bounce this down and then put it into the better program and edit it through there. And I'll be honest with you guys, even though I do that, I really don't take my time mixing it down that great. It's a whole fucking, a lot of these we're like hitting hours now, an hour and so.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit there and fucking bang my head against the wall. This is going to perfect over time.
Oh, absolutely.
And you guys are gonna bear with me. If you don't want to bear with me,
then fuck off.
You're gonna miss when fucking Gurkha finally
sponsors us. We're gonna be wearing Gurkha gear. We're gonna start doing YouTube where we're all wearing Gurkha gear doing this.
Yeah, baby. We'll show up. We'll be the ones that drive the fucking helicopter to give people their fucking $1 million cigars.
$1 million cigars.
We're gonna dress up like Jonathan Drew from Drew Estate. Look all fucking flashy graffiti rap style.
Oh no, I was gonna go completely racist and go like full Gurkha outfit. Just a white guy in a full Gurkha outfit.
I'm down with that too.
Just turbans and shit, kukri knives. I'm all for it.
I'm down with that.
Is that racist? I think we're just embracing a culture.
Yeah. I don't think it's racist
until we do the accent or
brown
face.
When you're wearing it, are you wearing it to make fun of it, or are you wearing it to embrace it? That's the difference.
We'll get to that when we actually get sponsored by Gurkha. Then we'll talk about if we're making fun of it or not.
Have you ever actually looked up what a Gurkha is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like an elite soldier.
Yeah.
It's kind of dope.
This shit's cool. No, it's cool as fuck, man.
No, we're just covering up our tracks.
That's why they...
It's cool as shit. We just put it all out there.
I highly doubt anybody who's like in the... I don't even know what culture that is. Do you know what culture that is?
Oh God. Without sounding like a complete ignorant idiot like I have been, probably not. Part of me wants to say India. It's definitely not.
No, it's definitely not.
It's, fuck.
Gotta be some Middle Eastern shit, right?
Oh, no.
Turkish?
They're Nepali.
Oh, okay.
Nepali soldiers who serve in the British Army and the Indian Army.
Okay. Yeah, so I was off.
Yeah, we were pretty... I was going to say India. That's close-ish, I guess.
See, that's where they got me, though, because that shit looked cool as fuck. The dude fucking tested his blade out with his thumb and shit. It was cool-ass cigar bands.
The fucking bands are dope. The Ghost.
Cigars.
Yeah. Well, you got to give them credit on the bands. The bands are pretty dope.
They are dope. They're dope as fuck. And now they're under new leadership, and I think they're trying to get away from even the old-style bands. I don't think that's a good idea. I think they need to keep their branding. Just make better fucking cigars, guys. Make better cigars and then sponsor people that hate you and then do like the Domino's commercial where you apologize for sucking and say you'll do better. And then we'll get your cigars that are better. We'll smoke them.
And they'll rant and rave about them.
Yeah.
And then you'll start getting more corporate again. Quality will start going down. Then we'll make fun of you again and you can sponsor us another time.
You guys can fucking... Sell unbanded cigars to Cigar International again.
Caldwell.
Yeah, or just sell. And I'm sorry, that's not what they did. They sold their bands to use on fucking unbanded cigars, and that was something that happened. From what I heard, they sold a bunch of their bands to Cigars International because they were running deals, and Cigars International was just putting these bands on a bunch of shitty fucking cigars. and that really hurt Gurkha.
Fucking rumor mill, man.
So they sold their fucking branding to CI. I believe that. I believe that story to be true. I've heard that from more places than one.
Cigar industry is so... what's the word? It's kind of like shady. It's like a underground mafioso. Like the way that it's ran, the way that things function is kind of shady at
Some
points.
of them.
Some of it. I mean, there's politics around it.
There is.
And it's the
legit,
stories I hear.
There's legit motherfuckers out there, though. Like Padilla. Padilla has contracts with Cigars International. But I've yet to come across a Padilla. Like, I know a lot of people aren't, like, huge fans of Padilla. I like Padilla a lot. He makes a quality product at a very fucking reasonable price. And Cigar International sells them CBID. You can get them on CBID.
Yeah.
You can get some Padilla stuff for real fucking cheap that are quality stuff. Might I add, you can fucking age that shit, too, and it ages really well for cheaper sticks.
I'm trying to think of a brand that's usually... Because Padilla's usually just online. I'm trying to think of another brand that's, like, just online that I feel like needs to get more notoriety. Ave Maria comes to mind, but, like...
Yeah. But that's not... So, when did Ave Maria come around?
I have no idea.
I've seen that shit for years.
Oh, yeah, but it was always online. You never see it in brick and mortar.
Back in the day, I did.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I did. But not anymore. No.
I don't know how well they age. I'll get back to you when mine.
I'm sure they age fine. I mean, I've seen guys selling boxes from more than several years ago.
Yeah, it's the only AJ cigar that wasn't a collaboration that I like.
Yeah,
which is a bold statement. You know, there's a lot of AJ
slaps.
Yeah,
you got to try that 20th anniversary he released, man. I really think you'll like that cigar.
Probably.
It's a good fucking smoke, baby.
Hell yeah.
All right. Let's see. Any other questions, or are we gonna fucking wait?
Yeah, I mean, those Jeremy questions are definitely hot topics for next time for sure. You'll have to wait one more episode, motherfucker.
Yep.
We ain't dicking around. I'm not gonna brisk over these.
I think that's we'll call this one.
Yeah, let's fucking call it.
We'll call it.
It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been a fun conversation.
We got a little goofier this time.
A little goofier. Not by much.
No, we definitely need to get goofier.
Yeah. I recommend maybe some fucking cocaine to get this party lit.
Shrooms. Yeah.
Some shrooms? Nah. Shrooms? I'll get all fucking humble on this bitch. I'm good.
Strobe lights.
Yeah, man.
Some ecstasy.
I'm with it.
We need to get some music on here.
Yeah.
Intro music.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have intro music the next time. We'll see.
We'll figure it out. We're figuring it out. This is only episode 4?
4.
Give us a fucking break, guy.
All right, y'all. Well, we hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Cheer.
Bye.